But first, is patriotism under attack in Britain? It's time for the head-to-head. An almighty row has broken out in the sleepy Norfolk village of Claxton over plans to fly the Union Jack flag outside the village hall, after some residents complained that it could scare people away. Indeed. Parish Council minutes revealed that one resident told local councillors that there is, quote, a fine line between patriotism and nationalism, while another objected on the grounds that the flag itself is divisive. Now, I can reveal that the Parish Council in Claxton has voted in the past hour in favour of flying the flag outside the village hall. But it's certainly not the first time the Union Jack's been at the centre of a storm, is it? Back in March, the owner of a chip shop in South London reacted with fury after he was ordered by the local council to remove a Union Jack mural from his wall. During the Euros this summer, London Mayor Sadiq Khan banned cabbie drivers from flying the England flag. So tonight I'm asking, is patriotism once again under attack? Let me know your thoughts, gbnews.com/yoursay. Tweet me at gbnews. While you're there, go and vote in our poll. The results to follow shortly. But going head-to-head on this are the political commentator Alex Armstrong and the political advisor Pablo O'Hana. Chaps, thank you very much. Great to have you on the show. Alex, is patriotism under attack in modern Britain?
Oh, it absolutely is, Patrick. And, you know, you just pointed out two very good examples there. And we've seen more and more of them as the years go by, it seems. You know, the thing for me, Patrick, is that this comes down to education. We have now got socialists in government, which we expect to see more attacks on British culture as time goes by. But if they really actually understood what flying the British flag, flying the Union flag actually meant, maybe they think twice before questioning it. I mean, this is the flag that was flown when we rolled into Calais, into Dover, from Dover, in World War II to defeat Nazism across Europe. This is the flag that was flown to destroy slavery across the world. I mean, it's quite disgraceful and completely uncommon sense that people want to constantly attack it. I just can't get my head around it, Patrick.
All right, Pablo, I do wonder if there's a crossover between people who would like to see the Union flag not flown outside a parish hall in Claxton, but would be perfectly happy to see the EU flag flown there instead.
I think the problem that we have at the moment is that, you know, we've seen recently all these protests across the country where the extreme right has draped themselves in the Union Jack. So understandably, it can make people feel uncomfortable. I think actually what needs to happen is we need to reclaim the flag from those people so there isn't fear of exactly that. I'm a patriot. I love our country, and I'm sick and tired of our flag being hijacked by these people. Patriotism isn't exclusive to the right. You know, the Union Jack belongs to us all, not just people in the fringes. So I think if we can reclaim our flag, we can be in a place where actually everyone feels comfortable about it being flown. And we should, because actually the Union Jack is a symbol of real diversity and the history of our country being really welcoming and tolerant and what makes our country so great. I think the problem is that some people feel uncomfortable because of the imagery that we see around it today. And that needs to be tackled first and foremost.
On that point of reclaiming the flag, though, I don't think it does much justice to Britain when the Union Jack, the Union flag, is taken down right before D-Day commemorations, for example. So when we're talking about reclaiming it from the far right, for example, the air quotes boogeyman, we also need to talk about how the left tried to demolish it and get rid of it on their events. If the British flag, our flag, represents all of us and our values of freedom, democracy and liberty, and has done forever. So if anything, the flag should be flown more at these events. In fact, they shun it. We even see images of people burning the flag and stamping on it. So, you know, the so-called far right at least drape themselves in it. The far left seem to destroy it. And, you know, we've got to reclaim it completely.
Also, Pablo, I will say, you know, like every single country has like a far-right or, quotes, nationalist movement or whatever, and pretty much every single one of those countries, they use their national flag for it. So it's not like we're alone in that. I just feel like we're the only country really out there at the moment where there's a large cohort of people in Britain who just actively hate the flag, and I don't quite understand that. Why is it, Pablo?
I think what you touched on is really interesting, actually, because I do think that the United Kingdom has a really tricky sort of relationship with its flag. And I've actually been doing an awful lot of research about this with one of my clients, because I'm trying to figure out why, for example, in the United States, they're really proud of their country. They're really proud of their flag. It's flown absolutely everywhere. And the US and UK have equally kind of tricky histories and current kind of issues with far-right extremism. I think, to your point, that it is true that the right embraces that imagery and the kind of Union Jack and all this sort of stuff much much more than the left does. And the left historically has been really difficult, has found it really difficult to engage with it. And we saw that in the EU referendum. As you know, I worked on that campaign, and my biggest issue from the very beginning is that we just surrendered that flag and we just went, nope, too difficult, and we didn't deal with it. And that was a really big problem because we ended up in a place where if you were on the right, you were like, right, I'm proud of my country, I love it, I'm going to use this flag. And if you're on the left, or you sort of the Remain persuasion, you went, oh, actually, no, that's just too awkward, I'm not going to engage in that. And that is the big problem, is that we need, you know, the Union Jack does and should unite us, not be something that's divisive.
Can I just say, I think, I actually really think that that nobody else, no foreign person, dislikes our flag. In fact, the opposite. There are entire shops in central London dedicated to selling stuff with the Union Jack on it, OK? And they do a roaring trade. Whenever you see people coming over here, often they'll get a T-shirt with the Union Jack on it, or they'll get a bag with the Union Jack on it and go back. There are entire fashion chains abroad, people. The Union Jack is actually, I would argue, one of the world's most loved flags. It's just us, like self-hating Brits, Alex. And I don't know where that comes from. It's even seeped through to a town hall in Norfolk, for goodness sake.
It's absolutely ridiculous when you say it out loud, isn't it? This is our country. I mean, we love Britain, and British people should love flying the flag as well. And you're right, Patrick. People all over the world, as I said before, see the Union flag as a symbol of democracy, freedom, liberty, and justice. Well, maybe up until about a month ago when Keir Starmer took over, perhaps. But you know, it is loved around the world. It is just a small minority of self-hating Brits that despise it, and they weaponize words like the far right to taint it, and therefore you get these fringe people.
And this is, Pablo, final word to you on this. You know, throughout that general election campaign, I mean, Keir Starmer said a lot of stuff, by the way, that appears to not have materialised yet, but he put the Union flag front and centre. He was always pictured in front of it. It was on loads of Labour material and Labour pamphlets, wasn't it? It's almost like he used it to get votes. You know, when people see that then, was there any indication whatsoever that Keir Starmer was in some way far right? No, of course not. So why is there that mental link between people with the flag of this country and the fact that you must be some kind of frothing racist if you want to put it on a flagpole in your front lawn or at your local parish hall? Why is that?
I think because there's a historical link between the Union Jack and issues of racism. That isn't to say that anyone that flies the Union Jack is racist. I have a Union Jack. I'm really proud, of our flag and our country. I think what Keir Starmer did was try to embrace more patriotic values, which is the right thing to do. And if we're going to long-term solve this problem, we have to get to a place where everyone in our country is proud of it and they don't feel uncomfortable flying the flag because it has links to far right. I think what you're talking about is that the left, people like Keir Starmer, have issues sometimes with the Union Jack because it is linked to the far right. If we can disconnect that and get to a place where we're all engaging with it, then great. That's a great place to be. But at the moment, we're not there.
You've got people in their Twitter bios, right, with the Palestinian flag, with the Ukrainian flag, with the trans flag, with the gay pride flag, with all of that stuff. I think the only one that they despise appears to be our flag. And then when you say something positive about the Union flag, they call you a flag lover, to paraphrase. It appears to me from where I'm sitting that they're the ones who love flags. They just love everyone apart from our own. But, Charles, thank you very much. A good spirited debate. Anyway, political commentator Alex Armstrong and political advisor Pablo O'Hana. Good stuff, both. Who do you agree with?